Hi there, I'm Jason, and in this session, we want to introduce you to Puppet's security compliance enforcement. Now, enterprise compliance teams face mounting regulatory pressure, all while managing resource constraints. Security compliance enforcement addresses this challenge by automating security standard implementation across both Puppet Enterprise and Puppet Core environments. Security compliance enforcement transforms compliance from periodic assessment to continuous enforcement, implementing CIS benchmarks and DIS estates without manual intervention. So this shifts your security posture from reactive to proactive, reducing organizational risk. With platform-specific modules for Linux and Windows environments, security compliance enforcement maintains secure configurations across your entire infrastructure while allowing customization to meet your specific regulatory requirements. So here's Nelson to give us a quick tour.
Thank you very much. My name is Nelson Gomez, and I'm a senior sales engineer here at Perforce. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to get started with security compliance enforcement. So first of all, where do we find it? And that's over on the Forge. So if you go over to the Puppet Forge and you search for SCE, short for Security Compliance Enforcement, you'll see our Security Compliance Enforcement module for Linux as well as for Windows. And of course, these are premium modules. But they work just like any other Puppet module, where you can just add it to your Puppet file, and then it will be in Puppet. Once you have it loaded onto Puppet, then all you need to do is classify it, just like any other module or class. So if I go over to node groups, you'll see here that I have a couple of node groups for SCE, one for Linux and one for Windows. I have some systems that are already part of that node group. And then the class is SCE Linux. So once it's classified, the only other thing you need to do is some minor configuration, which is done through Hiera. So if I go over to my GitLab instance where my control repo is, if I look at my data folder, which is where my Hiera configuration is, you'll see that I have some configuration defaults for security compliance enforcement. So these would apply to any system. And then, of course, the way Hiera works is you can then create unique ones for different groups of systems. So in my default SCE configuration here, notice how I have some configuration for SCE Windows as well as for Linux. And I'm basically saying go ahead and apply the level 1 server profile and apply all the rules, right? Except the ones that I have mentioned here. So this is ignore. You can also do the reverse where you can just say only, and then you would only apply specific rules. But in this case, you're applying everything, and then you're exempting specific rules from being applied. So this is how you manage the configuration of that. Once that's set and you go ahead and run Puppet and it applies those configurations, if I come over to my security compliance management dashboard here, I can see the results of some of the systems where I've actually run my security compliance enforcement. So this first system, which is my Rocky Zero, notice how it took it to 93% compliance versus the 64, which is what it was at previously. So this is a pretty high level of compliance. And then, of course, I've exempted a few rules, so it could actually be higher. And then similarly for Windows, it took my Windows systems from 35% compliance to 91% compliance. So hopefully this is helpful and you understand a little bit better how to get started with security compliance enforcement.
Thanks, Nelson. So available with Puppet Enterprise Advanced and Puppet Core, security compliance enforcement delivers what matters most to enterprise compliance teams: reduced overhead, consistent security posture, and regulatory adherence.